Okay. So thank you very much. Like I said, our topic today is on youth. Anyway, our topic today is drug and substance use, and particularly we are looking at drugs and substance use among the youth, among the teenagers, among the school goers, especially those at the universities, secondary school level, how it affects them, and what are the causes of these drugs. And then later on, we are likely to have a person giving us his life testimony on how it has affected him and how he came out from it. So you're most welcome, to our program today. First of all, I want us to look at what is drug abuse, or if somebody says drug abuse, what does it mean? Drug abuse is also known as substance abuse, which refers to harmful or excessive use of drugs. There are different types of drugs. We have drugs that can disorient your minds, and then we have also drugs that are medication. It's sort of like the ones we use for our medication. If you're sick, you go to the hospital and you are given the drugs to use. And if they give them to you and you misuse them or you mishandle them, then they become harmful to your health, and it is also an abuse. It's also drug abuse. So we have different types of drugs which we are going to look at. We have illegal drugs. The illegal drugs, we have drugs like heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine. We have bang. Let me use the ones that we know. I don't know for Mira. I think Mira, I don't know here in Kenya whether it is legal or illegal, but in some countries like in Uganda, that is the one that I'm sure of, it is illegal. You are not supposed to be using those drugs. And then we have prescription drugs, that is opioids, benzodiazepine. They are different, they have different kinds of names that are a little bit difficult to pronounce. And then we have over-the-counter drugs, that is the medication, which I said, if you are given paracetamol for headache, and then if for you use it, you overtake it, you are supposed to take 3 times a day, 3 times a day, then for you choose to take 6, all of them at once, because you have too much headache. That is drug abuse. It will definitely affect you. And then we have alcohol, we have tobacco, so many drugs that are in our system. And there are so many causes, actually, so many things that lead young people to abusing these drugs. And one of them is genetic predisposition. This comes especially if you find that, like, I want to use the example of street parents, especially street mothers, when they give birth on the street, and maybe in the process they were taking drugs, it enters the system of the child when the mother is still pregnant, and even after giving birth, she sees the mother taking, or sometimes the parents give to their children. So that one is really unfair to the child, but there is nothing the child can do, because it is something that she or he inherited from the parents. And then we have mental health conditions, especially maybe like depression and anxiety. When somebody is depressed, most of the people who are depressed go into drugs because they feel there is nothing else that can help them. So you find them taking different types of drugs, which is really, really dangerous and deadly. But there is, because there are other ways through which you can prevent these things from happening. I want to use the example or explain this. When you take drugs when you are depressed, or you have a very big problem and you feel like, let me drink alcohol to forget about this problem, you will take that alcohol, and at that time, very true, you will forget about the problem, because you won't know anything surrounding you. You won't be able to tell anything that is happening around you, but it is just for a short moment. The highest it can take is, it will be like 1 hour or 3 hours. But as soon as the effect of that drug, the effect of that alcohol finishes, you go back to the same problem, and now it will even be more. So the best thing to do is for you to look for the solution to the problem, but not going into abusing drugs. And then another cause or another risk factor that leads to drug is trauma and stress. Some people, when they are too stressed, or they find it hard maybe to sleep, to concentrate, or to do anything useful. And some of them have gone into drugs because they feel that when I take something, maybe one type of drug, it will help me to concentrate. And in the process of taking that, if you continue taking it daily, on a daily basis, you end up being you are addicted to it, and it will be very, very difficult for you to stop it. Then another one is peer pressure, especially for the young generation that is on now. Because you see your friends taking this and they are high, you also want to try. Or you see your friends doing this, but because you also want to belong to the group, you take it. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. You have to be yourself. You are you. You are not another person. You are not your friend. You are not your enemy, or you are not your parent. You are you. If your parent is abusing drugs, you don't have to abuse because you have seen your father doing it. If your friends are doing something, you don't have to do it because they are doing it. Be yourself, love yourself, and take care of your own self. Know what is good for you and what is bad for you. Leave it. Another one is family history of addiction. I have encountered some youth who are drug addicts, especially drunkards, and they tell you, I grew up seeing my father drinking and he was okay. Like me, I thought that is the best way I can cope with life because he was drinking. I thought it was right. So when it becomes a family history of addiction and you also want to join in the history, then you become addicted. You have to be yourself, know what is good for you, make research on certain things if you are not if you are not sure about them. If you see somebody taking a drug and you are like, oh, I want to try this, first of all, find out. Google has made it easy for us. ChatGPT is there. Simply ask, what are the negative side effects of this thing that I'm going to do? And if you find that it is going to harm you, please leave it. Weigh the negatives and the positives. If you find that the positives are more, please don't do that. Or ask a friend, or even ask a neighbor. Let them tell you something. Let them tell you or give you a hint on of what happens and what can you do. Another one is social and environmental factors, especially if you are surrounded by people taking those drugs, surrounded by people who drink alcohol. Sometimes it becomes difficult to resist from that, and many young people have gone into drinking, they have gone into abusing drugs because of the environment they are living in, which is not really helpful for them. And I would encourage, if you are in such an environment as a parent and you see that the only thing taking place in that area is drugs, please by all means try and relocate from that place for the sake of your children, so that they won't also be lured into that. And I want us also to look at the signs and symptoms of the person abusing drugs. How do you know that this person is really abusing drugs? I have asked this question and somebody told me that some of them, you look at the face, maybe the face has changed. Do you know that the person is a drunkard? It is not true. And there are some things also that happen and you're like, that is the person's nature. Was it his nature before? Was that his personality before? If it wasn't and something just came up, just to know that there is something wrong, and act fast, and take action and help that person. We have physical dependence. The person has been so friendly, depending on people, somehow asking for help when he needs it, and then all of a sudden the person starts withdrawing. He wants to be alone, and you see some weird behaviors happening. That is a red flag. It is a clear sign that somebody might be going into drugs. However, that is not a guarantee. Sometimes that person maybe is going into depression and needs somebody to speak to. It is good that you come close to the person and find out what is actually happening and why is this person behaving this way. It also goes with withdrawal symptoms. The person starts withdrawing from the friends, withdrawing from the family. You have been eating together as a family, sharing so many things. Then all of a sudden, the person starts to pull off. You people are at table eating. He excuses himself to go to his room. You people are doing this. He doesn't want to get involved. He's no longer participating fully in class. When they are in class, he will prefer to go and hide. Check out, what is he hiding from and what is he doing when he is hiding. That is a clear sign that the person is maybe getting introduced to the drug and substance use. And then we have loss of control. Some people start losing it all. They like you find a person who was not aggressive, the person becomes aggressive. You are talking to the person, he used to chat with you normally, she was cool, then all of a sudden anything that triggers the person, she wants to slap, she wants to quarrel, she like the behavior changes. That is a red flag there that you need to check also and look at. It might be possible that that person is going through drugs. It is one of the signs. Then neglecting responsibilities. When the person stops doing what he's supposed to do, is a student, start missing classes regularly without any excuse, and sometimes this person leaves home and tells the parents that he or she has gone to school. Then by the time you reach school, they tell you he hasn't been coming. It is a red flag. Be very careful and find out what is going on within that person. The person has been going to work, stops going to work, responsibilities given in school, in a school setup or anywhere, the person does not attend to them, does not do anything, because it is possible that the person has started taking drugs and it is disorienting him, and things like of that sort. And then also it comes with forgetfulness. People start forgetting what they are supposed to do. Some people even forget their homes. He will be walking, he doesn't know where he's going. This brings me to one comedy that I watched recently. A man went, he's a single guy, so he was coming at night. He went to his door, knocked, calling the wife to come and open for him. So the neighbor was like, should I go and tell him that he's single, or I should let him continue knocking, thinking that he's married? He's calling the wife to open the door. So it leads to forgetfulness, that you might start acting in a weird way. You were supposed to do something, you will forget because your mind is not settled and you are disoriented. And then we have continued use despite the harm. You have taken it, you are feeling headache, but you want to continue taking. You have taken it, you feel it is doing harm to you, but you have that urge to continue taking. The person, like people smoking, they know literally it is very dangerous. The person is smoking, he develops the funny cough. Some are checked, they will tell them you have this sickness, you have this. There are so many effects that come with drugs. They see that it is there, but they can't stop. That is a sign of addiction. Please seek for help, and there are so many ways you can be helped to come out of that, which we are going to look at later. And then secrecy and deception. The person starts hiding things that weren't being hidden before. If it is a youth or these young people, they start being secretive. They don't want their parents to enter their rooms again. They don't want anybody to ask them about their whereabouts. I'm going out, don't ask me, like I want to be on my own. If you are a parent, that is a red flag. please check out and follow it up to know what your child is up to and what is happening, and help him or her on time before it becomes too late for you. So those are some of the signs and symptoms of drug and substance use. If you have others that you feel we need to know, please send it in the SMS message or on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, Youth Zone with Sister Aurelia. Just drop it in the comment section and we'll be glad also to learn from you. I want us to look at the effects of drug and substance use to the young people. There are so many effects. We might spend here the whole day, but I'm going to say a few of them and explain how they go. We have physical health problems. You will have different infections if you start abusing drugs. You have organ damages. You have different sicknesses. The common one, especially to the smokers, is lung cancer. Cancer has become so rapid that people are like, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? And some are trying to prevent it. Others know what it is brought by or what causes it, but still go for it. Because you don't have option, because you feel depressed, as at that moment you want something to relieve you of whatever is happening. You're like, I must smoke. Please don't kill yourself when you are still young. We still need you, and that is actually suicide. And I've said it before, suicide is very it's selfishness, because you are not thinking about me, your friend. You are not thinking about your parents, but you want to kill yourself. It is about you and yourself. We have mental health issues, e.g., we can have the examples of depression and anxiety. When you start going into drugs, we have seen the signs. People start withdrawing. People start having that feeling of I am not loved, I am alone, and then they enter into depression. There is a video that I watched very recently that really pained me. A very young woman, pretty girl who was influential. She's a Kenyan. She studied in the US, came back. She was working very hard. She had a job. Then all of a sudden she entered into depression, started abusing drugs. Currently she's on the streets begging. Someone was interviewing her. It was so touching for me. I said, and I will continue to say, if you feel you have a problem, look for somebody and share that problem. Don't look for the solutions yourself. They might end up leading you into danger. And if you feel you don't have somebody to talk to, I'm around. Make sure you look for the way of connecting with me. And I thank those who have opened up and we are talking. It is a sign that they want to grow and they want to come out of whatever they are coming out of. And I congratulate you also for taking that step. Please, if you want somebody to talk to, look for the person you trust and talk to that person. It will be very helpful for you. Relationship problems. If you have not been abusing drugs, if you have not been drinking alcohol, for example, and then you start drinking as a girl, do you think your boyfriend will keep you? For real?
No.
He won't tolerate that. And as a young man, you all of a sudden you start smoking, bang, your behaviors change. Honestly, people who have loved you, some of them will withdraw and they will prefer to let you be. Leave you on your own. Then we have work and school problems. For example, if you have started using those drugs in some schools, they will not allow you. At school, you will not even concentrate in class and you will fail. Then the purpose for which you went to school will be defeated. Work, you will not be able to concentrate. You will not be able to do what you're supposed to do. And you will be fired from work. You won't be productive. So it will definitely affect you very badly. And That is the reason why you must avoid it and don't even think of going there. We have financial difficulties. These drugs are very expensive. You don't have money, you don't have food, then you start abusing drugs. You have to be buying those drugs every day, because once you're addicted, there is no way you can stop it. You will always look for the way of getting those things and taking them. And it will really be tough for you, because definitely it won't be easy for you to come out of that kind of situation. Financial difficulties, you will not have money for the rent. If you were in school, some students even eat their school fees to buy those drugs. You will not finish your school. It will cause more harm than good. It might give you some small pleasure as at that time, but your future is already destroyed, because there is no way you will handle it. So as young people, as youth, try as much as possible to avoid those drugs. We have legal issues as one of the effects. These legal issues come in a way that some people become criminals, those who are not criminals. If you are addicted to these drugs and you don't have money, for example, and the thing is urging you to take more, you steal. And in the process of stealing, you find yourself into trouble. You end up, you are jailed, and your life will be ending there. So please, don't put yourself into a mess that you will not be able to come out. I have seen somebody that's he had finished taking something and he was a little bit high, and I was with him in the car, and when we passed by the police, his sister hit that guy. He wanted me to hit the police. So I was like, why should I hit them? And he hasn't done anything. He said, hey, I hate those people. Why would you hate them? Don't put yourself into trouble that you'll not be able to come out. Okay. And we have increased risk of overdose, which may result to death. We have seen people who have died because of too much alcohol. The person is found in the gutter, sleeping. The person is found somewhere, where he can't even do anything for himself, just dumped somewhere dead. And some of them, the families are looking for them. Then to do the postmortem, the person was killed by drugs, which is a mess. You might not be able, especially young people, you might not be able to dose yourself to know I'm supposed to take this portion, but because you take all, not knowing the side effect it has on you, and before we know it, we shall lose you, which will really be dangerous and not good for us. So if you are ready to die anyway, go for it. If you are not ready, please don't. Thank you very much. In regards to that, I think I'm done. In case you have any comment, you have any supplement, any addition you want to supplement to what I have said, please do well to send it to us. I want us to look at the prevention strategies. We shall look at the treatment and recovery, and then the dangers, especially to the mental health and emotions, and then also to the social and relationship dangers, how these drugs can affect you. So let's take a short break.
Okay.
Thank you.